I hate admitting this. Okay, here we go. Seriously, I don't want to do this. Fine. I was, in my youth, briefly, an independent representative for a multi-level marketing company. I know. It was a horrible decision that I deeply regret. Please forgive me. I am so ashamed. Shame. I was young and I needed the money. I'm just kidding. There was no money. How could there be? The entire premise of multi-level marketing is based on a lie. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's based on deception, fraud, hucksterism. It's a long con. And I know this because of how MLMs try to trick you by using psychology. Or rather a weaponized version in the form of a business presentation. Heavy on emotions, light on details. Are you tired of being poor? Do you feel like you're wasting the best years of your life driving a car you don't want to drive, living in a home you don't want to live in, near schools you don't want to send your children to, also they can grow up to be caught in the exact same trap? It doesn't have to be this way. What if you could escape the rat race, take control of your destiny, and live the life of your dreams, plus earn passive residual income for life? With this company, all of that's possible. Before you know it, your income will be growing by leaps and bounds, and you'll be living a life of riches and success far beyond your wildest imagination. Sound too good to be true? Why not find out? What have you got to lose? Get in touch with the person who sent you this video now. Gross. Need a shower after that. Is it still on me? I feel like it's on me. Look, you can check out what the FTC has to say about multi-level marketing, or the Better Business Bureau, or AARP. John Oliver did a show about it. Even Dave Ramsey has a take. The reality is grim. Most people never get in the black. But that's just according to math, statistics, facts. Forget the facts. What the writers of these presentations are counting on is that you don't understand the difference between odds and probability, and they use that assumption to, well, with you. To be fair, your state lottery does this too. Odds are you won't win, but the probability is someone will, eventually. So you might as well buy a ticket because, say it with me, you can't win if you don't play. I hope the ad guy who came up with that one is roasting in a fiery pit somewhere. So if these presentations are manipulative and not based on facts, what are they based on? Storytelling. And that's why this topic is such a perfect marriage of my particular areas of expertise. I've been an actor for over 30 years. It's what I went to school for, it's what I've done professionally. I'm also a realtor with Sotheby's International Realty, and as a real estate agent, I'm a fiduciary. I just made a video about what that is, but basically it means I have to look out for your best interests, not mine. It's very much not legal for me to do otherwise. So as a lifelong professional storyteller who spends his days trying to help people navigate the biggest financial decisions of their lives, owning a home, and as someone who's participated in more than one MLM, again, sorry about that, I feel very comfortable saying we're in my wheelhouse. So here's the big secret behind multi-level marketing. What you really need to know if you're considering getting into one of these schemes, rackets, businesses. If the algorithm brought us together, I'm guessing you've read a self-help book or two. And I say or two because no one reads just one self-help book. I read Think and Grow Rich, and now I don't need any more information ever. My life is perfect. You ever go to a concert? I saw the Taylor Swift Eras tour, and now I don't need to go to another concert again, ever. My life is perfect. Okay, well that one actually might be true. How about church? I went to one mass last Sunday. Jesus Christ. Or sports? I went to one Dodgers game. I went to Yankee Stadium, Wrigley Field. What do all of these have in common? They all tell a story. I'm not a sports guy, but I recognize that every game is a story. And if a team hasn't won in a couple of games and they're looking for a comeback, it's an even better story. I'm not a church guy, but I mean, biggest comeback tale of all time, am I right? I'm not really a music guy, but Taylor Swift? What that girl has had to go through in her life to find love, the emotional depths she's had to plumb publicly in order to bring forth like a modern day Shakespeare poetry and music that elucidates for us the delicate intricacies of the human heart. You leave Taylor alone, and while we're at it, give her back her scarf, Jake. It's been like 15 years already, you son of a bitch. Sorry. Where were we? Right. Self-help, celebrity, church, sports. They're all cults. Potentially. You didn't see that coming, did you? Because they're not just stories. These are stories that have become part of your story, and therefore, over time, part of your identity. And when someone else's story becomes part of who you are, rather than just what you like, it has the potential to metastasize into a cult. Often benign, relatively harmless, but culty. Cultish. The difference, however, between a cult that hews toward the light versus one that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, like multi-level marketing, which is plainly a pernicious, malignant economic cult, is this. For the representatives in these companies, there's a barrage of incessant on-tap self-help content, co-opted from the world's greatest thinkers, scholars, philosophers, and entrepreneurs. And this positive, encouraging messaging is used by MLMs to exclude people. That's the difference. Once you're in a real cult, the world is separated into only two categories: those who get it and those who don't. With network marketing, the more money you sink into the company as you pay your monthly fee or buy your monthly allotment of products, the more you psychologically buy into the feelings of exclusivity and separation. But, and here's the rub, you're not separating the world into two categories, you're separating your life, the people in your life, your friends and family. You get it, but your brother doesn't. Your spouse gets it, but your cousin doesn't. And your best friend from high school doesn't. Nor do your neighbors, your coworkers, the people you go to church with, or to a Dodgers game, or a Taylor Swift concert for the 4th time. None of them get it. And the second you start to doubt the validity of the company, your sponsor's right there to take you to a meeting, or send you a video where you're told all of those people are wrong. They have their heads stuck in the sand. They can't see the forest for the trees. But you're special, unique, a visionary. You're an entrepreneur, and you won't let anyone hold you back from your dreams, because while the odds are against you, the probability is someone's going to get rich from this business, and it might as well be you. So another month goes by, and another automatic deduction gets taken out of your bank account. I told you I'm not going to get into the statistics of the multi-level marketing industry because I think it's easier to spot the psychological manipulation than it is to accept the facts. But I do want to mention one fact, and that is there are people who will make a lot of money in multi-level marketing. And those people are hardcore, dyed-in-the-wool sales recruitment vigilantes. They recruited 3 people before breakfast and they're gonna knock out 10 more by lunch. And if you're one of those people, forget everything I just said. Best of luck to you. Call me when you're ready to buy a house. But if you're not one of those people, don't waste your time or your money. And definitely don't jeopardize every relationship you have on an industry that depends on churn and turnover and stacking up bodies. I know, bodies. I make it sound like they're killing people. They're not killing people, right? You can't kill if you don't play. No one ever joins a cult. That's not on anybody's bingo card. It's not a conscious decision a person makes. People only ever discover that they're in one. And it's never not shocking, because the person who got you into it is a friend who talks about positive thinking and personal growth and believing in yourself. I'll be there for you 24/7. I don't succeed in this business unless you succeed. This industry is all about helping people help people. And what the heck fire's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with that. If it were only true. Warren Buffett said, the first rule of investing is to never lose money. And the second rule is to never forget the first rule. But Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner, who passed away recently at the age of 99, he said, there's long-term advantage in trying to be consistently not stupid instead of trying to be very intelligent. There's actually more to be gained by avoiding doing the wrong thing than by actively trying to do the right one. And look, if you've been part of an MLM like I have, and you just feel like the biggest fool like I did, perhaps you'll take some comfort in this. After becoming one of the most successful authors of all time, Mark Twain went bankrupt and found himself in massive amounts of debt, the equivalent of $2.5 million in today's money. He liked to live large and spend beyond his means. That's not great. He had a publishing company that totally flopped. He lost money in publishing, and he sunk the rest of his fortune into the production of a machine that was supposed to rival the printing press, but that ultimately was just a 4-ton paperweight. Mark Twain bet against the printing press. One of the wittiest guys who ever lived did the dumbest things with his money. He once told a judge in the courtroom, "I was always bad in business." But after these failures, not unlike Taylor Swift, he put his ass to work and performed his way around the world, speaking in 71 cities for 122 performances, paying off all his debts. And while he never quite learned his lesson, Mark Twain died a wealthy man with what today would be about $15 million. So, yeah. It's never too late to turn it all around. I'll see you in the next one. This is from a Time magazine article from 2016. Once his bank account was restored, Mark Twain poured thousands of dollars into backing a protein powder called Plasmin, which he claimed delivered 16 times the nutritional value of steak at the cost of a penny a day. Later, at the fraud trial, after losing almost $1 million in today's money, Twain said that Plasmin Company president Henry A. Butters was a stallion in intention, a eunuch in action. Oh, Sam.
You move it, bust it.